I call to order the PRC School District Special Called Board Meeting held in the Endeavor Chapel, July 29th, 2020.
They continue to do what is right. We ask you to bless our administrators and all the leaders here for this school district and guide them as they continue to formulate plans that is best for this district. We ask you to continue to watch over our students as they prepare to come back for the school year. And Heavenly Father, most of all, we'll just ask you for their protection and their love for those students, Heavenly Father. Bless all the folks on this board, Heavenly Father, and ask you to continue to guide them that we'll keep this community first. But most of all, we thank you for your son, these who died on the cross. We thank you for the blood that he shed, Heavenly Father. We give you praise and glory and honor. And right now, we're praying for our country as we go through the turmoil right now. There's all types of things we're dealing with. And we just ask you for your love, guidance, and protection. Ask you to bless our military and our police force and all those who are trying to enforce the rule of law. But of all things, Heavenly Father, we just thank your son down on the cross. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Frazier, for that prayer. Colonel Ryder brought us a cadet. Colonel, will you introduce the cadet, please?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, thank you for this high honor for being here tonight. It's my distinct privilege to introduce Cadet Lieutenant Samuel Burge. He's number 2 in our unit. The executive officer is his title, and it's important to note that he's punching way above his weight. He's only a junior, and it's been very rare that we've started out with someone this new. Samuel?
Thank you. Will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please stand for the pledge. Ready? Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In God we trust.
Thank you, Colonel, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Cadet.
God bless you all.
Do I have a motion to consider the agenda?
Make a motion to consider the agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that motion. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you for that second, Mr. Frazier. Any discussion?
Madam President, I have under consent agenda, I'd like to pull 5111 to executive session because it is a personnel matter.
Yes, duly noted. So we're going to go ahead and remove under consent agenda number 5.1.1.1 and pull that into executive session. Any other discussions? If that's all, I will call for a vote. All in favor make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider approving the following financial items? And if the board so chooses, we'll take that item number 4.1 through 4.3.
I make a motion to consider approving the financial matters, items 4.1 to 4.3.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier, for that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Herron, for that second. Any discussions? I will call for a vote. All in favor make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider the consent agenda, and that goes item 5.1 through 5.2. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to consider the agenda from 5.1 to 5.2.
Thank you for that motion, Ms. Burge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you for that second, Mr. Frazier. All in favor make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider delaying the 2020-2021 student start of school by 1 week to August 13th, 2020?
I make a motion to consider delaying the 2021 student start date of school by 1 week to August 13th.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Herron, for that second. Any discussion?
Just wanted a point of clarity on this particular issue. Again, so we recommended this delay specifically just so the teachers can have an opportunity to make sure that their classrooms are set up and will not have some of the kids, as maybe a distraction at the end of the classroom this time, so we give the teachers more time.
Not only teachers, but all support staff. On your annual calendar, or normal school calendar, you typically have 3 employee days, work days that they come in prior to the students coming in. This amendment will allow us to move 3 other days later in the year up in front of those and give us 6 additional days. But it's for teachers, support staff, all school employees. As you know, as we return to school during the pandemic, there are new procedures, new guidelines, new policies, screening processes that will be going on our school campuses, and we feel this will better prepare all of our staff members and facilities as well to be ready for the first day of school for our students.
Okay. Will this result in reduction in the school days for our students from 180 to 175?
No, sir, we still will remain the 180, and we have approval of the school calendars. The next item, you'll see that we moved some days around within the calendar to make up those 5 days. We still will complete the school year the last week of May.
Mr. Lumpkin, I have a question on the same subject. Do we know, are you pretty firm that this is going to be our start date? Do you foresee us having to push that back? I know that was a big concern in the community, as well as Governor Tate. Is he wanting to move anything right now? Do you foresee us changing this date?
The first part of your question was the local school district. No, ma'am, we do not foresee the district needing any more time to start. So this date will be firm for the local school district's recommendation. As far as the Governor Tate Reeves, any delay past this date that we're proposing would have to come from an executive order from Tate Reeves. Right now, he is currently reviewing all the school districts' reopening plans, and if he feels satisfied with that, the information that we have received is that he will allow it to be a local decision, and it would stay at the local level.
Thank you, Mr. Lumpkin.
Any other questions? Okay, I will call for a vote. All in favor make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider approving the amendment to the 2020-2021 calendar?
I make a motion to consider approving the amendment to the 2020-2021 calendar.
Thank you for that motion, Ms. Burge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you for that second, Mr. Herron. Any discussion?
This amendment to the calendar was just moving that start date and adding those teacher work days, and then what other dates did we move around?
And you mentioned the 3 work days, you'll see those in yellow on
Yes.
the calendar are moved up to make us a total of 6 prior to the first student day. You will see in the second semester is where we move some days around to make up those 5 days for the students from the beginning. The old calendar, our students were returning on January the 7th. The new calendar, they'll return on January the 4th. That made up 3 of those days. And at the end of the school year, we were going to be, the last day of school was going to be May 26th. Now it will be May 28th.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I will make one note that you might see that is a little odd. You see there's 7 teacher work days. You see the 6 up in the front, so that leaves 1 more. You see it on January the 11th. So our students will come back to school for that 1 week, and then they will be out 1 day for the teacher work day. What that is that the semester the first semester will actually end on January the 8th. So they have to have that teacher work day for the secondary, the middle school, and high school changes classes because you have some semester classes, a lot of semester classes in your high school, some in your middle school. So that allows for the new rosters for the teachers to prepare. So that's why you see that teacher work day 1 week after. We lost those 5 days in the beginning, they move over to the second after the new.
I may should have asked this in the last one, but do you foresee any more pushback with the date, meaning that we will go to school through June?
No, sir, I do not. Again, that would only be from an executive order from the governor to delay it any further than 1 week. If he does delay it any further than 1 week, then yes, as you can see, we're ending the last week of May, like we normally have each year. But any delay past 1 week would push you into June. Yes, sir. But I don't foresee it at the local level. No, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, I will call for a vote. All in favor make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider approving the amended reopening plan for the 2020-2021 school year?
I'll make a motion to consider approving the amended reopening plan for the 2020-2021 school year.
And there's a copy next to you, I'm sorry. Thank you for that motion, Mr. Herron, and thank you for that second, Ms. Burge. Any discussion?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
On page 3, at the top, the second sentence, elementary students with a temperature of 100 degrees or higher and or visible COVID flu symptoms will be asked if the parent is home, and then if the parent is home, the elementary student will be directed to return home at that time. If the parent is not home, the elementary student will be directed to sit in the first seat and provide a mask to wear as he or she is transported to the school. I feel that this, having a known sick child on the bus, puts at risk the rest of the riders on the bus and the driver.
The reason for that change is the concern that we had from the board at the last board meeting about returning a child, an elementary child, to a home that the parent is not there. So we took that into consideration, and the leadership team discussed it, transportation director, myself, and the leadership team, and this is what we're bringing forth at this time. There are risks on both sides of this.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Any other questions or statements? Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that. I will call for a vote. All in favor make known by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to go into closed session to determine if we need to go into executive session?
I make a motion, we go into closed session to determine if we need to go to the executive session.
Thank you for that motion, Mr. Frazier. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Burge, for that second. Any discussion? We'll, you want to consider if we need to go into executive personnel, for a personnel matter. I will call for a vote. All in favor, make known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to consider approving Susan, how do you say the last name? Vanette, as financial secretary for the 2020-2021 school year, pending hiring process, retroactive to July 21st, 2020.
Make a motion to consider approving Susan Burnett as financial secretary for the 2020-2021 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier, for that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Burge, for that second. Any discussion? I will call for a vote. All in favor, make known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Mr. Herron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Burge, for that second. All in favor, make known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now adjourned. Thank you.